Greetings YouTube, this is going to be a quick review. You play as the Last Lamb. Last because the paranoid cult bishops think a lamb is going to kill them. Yeah, it's one of those self-fulfilling prophecies, they did it to themselves. Anyway, you're plucked from death by a totally not evil being, Promise, who tells you to go off and form a cult of your very own. I mean, why change your winning strategy? You start small, a temple, a shrine, a follower or two. You head into the woods, kill some rival cultists, pick up some wood, stone, other random knickknacks that you find. Head back, improve your base. Now at its heart, this is a base building and management game, like The Sims, with knife-wielding lunatics hiding in the trees. It is not exactly a crafting survival game. You do craft things, but your only survival gauge is your health, and that only goes down if you're hit while you're out in the field. The survival of your cult, on the other hand, is something you have to manage. Your followers will do some things on their own. They'll harvest wood and stone. They'll eat, sleep, pray, poop. Yes, they will poop in the open field. And yes, you have to clean it up, because hygiene. And no other bugger can be bothered to do it, apparently. So while your followers will be following you round in your new cult, you will spend much of your time, to begin with at least, following your followers' asses around with a broom. Also, none of them know what a ladle is, so you'll have to do the cooking as well. And the gardening. And cleaning the outhouse. What I'm saying is, when it comes to housekeeping, they're all fucking useless. At least, at first, they're fucking useless. Hygiene is an issue, or at least it can become one. Vomit and poop will both lower the hygiene of the area. Sick followers stop working, and sickness left untreated will lead to their death. But your cult will eventually, with your intervention naturally, eventually they will become more sophisticated. Outhouses serve as a convenient place for offloading poop. The janitor's station will allow followers to clean up after themselves, instead of you having to do it all the bleeding time. Upgrading the station to level 2 will let them clean the outhouses as well. Followers will die. If not because of illness or combat or something, they will just die of old age after about 30 in-game days or so, which means you need to dig graves and build crypts to store the bodies. And building a mortuary allows followers to tidy away the recently deceased until you can deal with them properly. Growing plots allow the farming of various plants. A farm station allows followers to work the crops themselves. Seed and fertilizer storage units allow self-replanting. What I'm saying is, what I'm trying to get across is, there are quite a few stations that let the cult do things for themselves without you having to micromanage them every 5 bloody minutes because you don't trust them on their own. You can assign a follower to a specific job, but that only makes them prioritise it. They will do any job that's available, which is a very good thing, because there is no easy way of telling who is assigned what job, short of going round and asking everyone individually, which is a pain in the backside. One of those jobs is generating devotion. Devotion, you can think of it as the cult's XP. Gather enough devotion and you can unlock additional construction options. Wood and stone mines produce extra resources. Now, make sure that you keep back enough wood and stone to get the mines built in the first place. I made the mistake of running low and I couldn't build any more of these resource producing structures, and it strangled my production for a while there. The only other place you can get them is out in the field on your excursions. You can conduct rituals with various effects, bestow blessings, and give sermons. Now, blessing followers or completing their quests levels them up, Conducting sermons once a day caused those levels to increase the lamb's level, granting additional weapons and curses in the dungeons. And thank goodness you don't have to give the sermon yourself, you just have to click a button. Occasionally you'll acquire a stone tablet that grants new doctrines, and you'll get a choice between two options. Do you, for example, want to be able to extort additional gold from your followers, or bribe them to raise their faith? Do you want your cult to host pit fights or weddings? Do you want them to be meat-eating cannibals or grass-eating hippies? It's your choice. Now, at some point, you'll have to kill the rival cult leaders that serve as the game's bosses. The fights are interesting and don't overstay their welcome, so long as you have decent weapons. You shouldn't have a problem with them, and they have varied attack patterns that change as you beat them up. They're suitably interesting. Levels are built from several areas. Combat areas are made of various randomly generated room layouts. Other areas drop resources or followers or house merchants. Choose your path through the forest areas wisely. Oh, and if the cult's faith gets too low, it can cause dissent in the ranks. Followers can actually start stirring up trouble amongst the others, which forces you to endure it until you can clap them in irons and talk them out of it. You know, like any reasonable person would. You can go fishing for extra food, or play a game of knucklebones, which is deceptively simple to learn and surprisingly hard to master. It's good fun. Now, if I have one criticism of this game, it's that even after I built up the cult's management stations, I never felt like I could leave them alone. Even if they handle everything else, their faith level, their faith in you, drops over time because you're absent, which eventually causes problems, and after a few in-game days inside a dungeon, I need to get back or suffer the consequences. You can send your cultists off on excursions for you. That comes with the risk of them dying and not returning. Me personally, I didn't do that often. I had few enough cultists in the cult already. I didn't need to lose any more of them. It's all very well done, is this game. I like the art style and the bold colours. It gave me more choice than I was expecting over the tenets of the cult itself. And while the cultists are, let's face it, initially stupid, they do become more helpful as you build more workstations later on. I like a game with helpful NPCs, even if you do have to put a fair bit of work in to get that far.